the city of New Orleans has reached the point of no return. And I'm not being doomsday. This is an article that The Guardian reported on that even if we were to combat climate change today, the city of New Orleans' days are numbered. You are unable, so for those who don't know, the city of New Orleans actually sits below sea level. So if you fly in, you're seeing the sea, and the city of New Orleans sits down at the bottom. There are a number of things that they have used, like the levee system, which is what broke during Hurricane Katrina that caused the devastation of that hurricane. Those things cost billions of dollars in order to maintain and upkeep to keep the city safe. At this point, researchers have said that this is no longer a sustainable option, and the only option that the city has is to relocate all 370,000 residents from the city. My first thought when I heard that is, well, where are they going to go? And how is the city of Louisiana, right? City of New Orleans, state of Louisiana going to protect the black people, which they have historically disenfranchised to ensure that they are pretty much fucked. This is the biggest concern. Like, these are the types of things that people like myself have been screaming off of the mountaintops that we are going to face in the future if we do not do something about climate change. And now we are at the point where it is too late. The only option is for humans to move. I am so heartbroken by this. Like, just from a personal level of all the times, all the memories that I've had growing up, going to New Orleans and going to Louisiana, I really cannot even fathom a world without this city. But we're here. We're here now, and now we need to ensure that we have a government that is thinking about these things and going to help make solutions to make the world better, to make the climate change not as bad. We're not even in a world where it's like, let's stop climate change. We need to mitigate the disasters that climate change can cause. That is where we are at. That is the very hard, real truth. And we have got to start taking this seriously.
So all of a sudden, New Orleans is at risk of being underwater. All of a sudden, 330,000 people may need to be relocated. And the majority of those people in New Orleans, guess what? Doesn't matter. But I mean, it's just interesting that these are black people. And all of a sudden, the majority of them are black that live in New Orleans, and they have to be relocated. This smells like Tulsa 2.0. And if you don't know what happened in Tulsa, then you guys need to go look up the history of what they did to Tulsa when it was thriving. Because New Orleans, another area that is thriving, a prime real estate, economy doing good. And all of a sudden, hey, we need you to get up out of there. So if it doesn't happen, and that was a land grab, wouldn't that be quite interesting? Because right now they want to give you pennies on the dollar because they're saying the sea level's rising and you're at risk and we need to relocate you. I'm out.
All right, y'all. I was working and I got a very disturbing call about something that was on the news this morning for Louisiana. And come to find out, everything that we learned in science is really happening as far as global warming and all that taking over. And right now, they are saying not to be alarmed, but we know when they say not to be alarmed, we should be alarmed. New Orleans will be under sea level. They are saying people from New Orleans need to look in and start relocating because the sea level will rise. And I'm thinking in my mind, all it's going to take is one good hurricane or something to hit it that will separate New Orleans, the city of New Orleans on the coastal line from Louisiana. The fact they went on the news and they only say that once, but they say not to be alarmed bothers me because we should be alarmed. Y'all, we got to focus on what's real and what's really happening before we wake up and all our family floating in sea going somewhere. So I looked it up and Tulane is doing a study. And in the study, they have found enough evidence to say New Orleans needs to start relocating. They won't give a time or a timeline, but we know anytime they say not to be alarmed, that something must be close. So y'all, we got to start worrying about the virus and all that. There's a lot going on in New Orleans that we don't know about, a lot in Louisiana as a whole. Y'all, we got to focus on what's happening in New Orleans. So they are definitely going to break apart. I don't know if y'all remember in school with the crust breaking. That's just me trying to dumb it down. But if you remember in school, they spoke about that. It is happening now, today. And they like I said, they posted about it today on the news. I'm going to tag the website where I found some more research about it, but New Orleans will no longer be, like, New Orleans is at a point of no return. That's crazy they're not making enough noise about this.
New Orleans is beyond the point of returning, meaning that they're going to be under the sea before the turn of the century. Now, this is according to researchers who provided this information to The Guardian. This article is in The Guardian. They go into deeper details of how, New Orleans is under sea level and how the governor could have provided some things to prolong this from happening, but refused to do so. They go into more details. Now, they're urging 360,000 residents of New Orleans to relocate now, because it's not a matter of if it's going to happen or not. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. So they're urging 360,000 residents to relocate now, and that this could happen between 2 to 3 generations, but most definitely it will happen before the end of this century. You can read the article in The Guardian and they will provide more details. It's like a 7-minute read. But yeah, 360,000 New Orleans people in New Orleans, they're urging y'all to relocate to higher ground now because it's beyond the point of saving.
Man, they say the city of New Orleans is at the point of no return and that the residents gonna have to relocate because, New Orleans is below the sea level. Man, how is everybody gonna relocate out of New Orleans? Everybody ain't got the money for the move. I know the government ain't gonna pay for it. And the crazy part about this is this could have all been avoided years ago. But the government don't care about New Orleans. Sad, bro.
This is exactly what I've been looking into lately. Now, I want to get straight to the point. This is because of the oil industry. Because this city's main export is oil, politicians and police departments have been doing all of their dirty work. Meanwhile, this is the same industry that is responsible for why we keep getting cancer here. These same shareholders of these large companies also have their hand in private prison industries, surveillance architecture, housing market and insurance rates, auto insurance, and the list goes on and on and on. This state is still somehow #1 in poverty, has double the national average of incarceration rates, was the capital of slavery. Half of the land here was plantations, and that's why this bitch feels like a prison.